Good morning. On the topic of culture, I would consider culture as language and values. I don't think that those need too much explanation. And if we look at the conflict and the chaos in the world as a war in the context of a culture war, instead of like a land grab or a war of attrition or a war of power dispersal, but instead as a war of culture, I think that that would be keen. And so much as to say that if you were the bad guys and you wanted to control the masses, you could do so by controlling how that they communicate with each other, their lexicon, what things mean, the connotation, and by telling them what things have value, by defining what has worth in their world. And I compare it to the Pilgrims coming to America, and you hear stories about how Native Americans traded away like land rights or precious things that they found, or gold or whatever, for seashells because they thought them seashells were so valuable. Well, if you ask them now, like, what's more valuable, the land or the seashell, they might still have the same answer they said back then, that nobody can own the land. So that's culture. That's language and value. And I don't want black culture. I'm tired of seeing fucking Chinese culture on the internet. I don't want to hear another goddamn Chinese meme, another Chinese fucking jingle. I don't care about the chinks. I care about Christians, and I care about children, and I care about God, but get the fuck out of here with that Chinese shit. And I don't want Mexican culture, but I'm not going to say that I want to destroy all their cultures. I don't want, sure as shit, don't want no fucking Jewish culture. So, I want my own culture. I want the culture of the America that I grew up in my halcyon days. I want the culture of my parents and my grandparents and my great grandparents and my great great grandparents. And I want the culture of the people that wrote the things that I like to read. The culture of the Bible and the culture of some olden times. Yeah. So with culture and the war that's being waged with it, when they are able to convince you what things are, like abortion isn't murder, it's health care. Global warming isn't a con, it's a real thing, like whatever. And the things that we say are valuable, the things that they're putting on TV in front of us every day, well, the new advancements in technology are valuable, and keeping up with the Joneses is valuable, and being edgy and witty and a hipster and an edgelord is valuable. In what context? See, if you have your own culture, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, then no, that culture is what gives me my values. It offers them to me. I can take them or not. I can assign my own values too, but it's easier when you have this legacy behind you, a chain. And everybody else can have their own. Why would I want to destroy anybody else's legacy, anybody else's values? Go for it. But I'm sure as shit not gonna let it dominate my culture, dictate my culture, destroy. I'm not gonna let it resign mine to death. No, you can't do that. Genetics is destruction of culture and an abomination. Eugenics. what the Jews are doing to subvert every other culture and to destroy it, that I like this argument this black fella made the other day, where, because I agree with it. He said, fuck all this woke shit about being black victims of white culture, and fuck reparations, and fuck all of that, because what are you trying to say? That a black man can't make it on his own? That he'll forever be the victim of the white man? That the only way that he'll make anything in this world is if the white man kisses his ass? He said that's some beta bullshit. I agree. Like, I'm gonna say, well, my culture would do great if it weren't for the Jews. Well, that's a fucking excuse. My culture is great. I come from a very great culture. Jews have a long culture too. They can think whatever they want of it, but part of their value system is the exploitation and subversion of other cultures' value systems and the destruction of their language. For instance, Globo Homo is centralized around Zionism, and Zionism likes to change the definitions of things, and it likes to change the values of things once the words are changed. You see, it's going to be soon that whether you're Latino or black or Zimbabwe or Dominican or Algeria, whatever, your culture isn't going to matter for shit if it doesn't line up with the corporate culture value system. If soon as you don't go along with the ring of power, you're a racist, a xenophobe, a homophobe, an anti-Semite, all this stuff, and they're hammering away, chipping away at us to try to eliminate all of our individual cultures, our individual languages, well, not so much individual, but collectively individual, our tribal, our non-global homo cultures. They can't have those because they want to dictate the value of everything and explain the definition of every word spoken. That's just dystopian right there. They want to explain the value of everything so that you work your whole life towards what they say is valuable. And then you can have no more argument because, well, so you have to pay taxes because of the roads, so what that the taxes pay for abortion and child sex changes and Marxist indoctrination in schools. That might be about it for this video. Find your values. Like, don't clear your mind, scrub it out, sit quiet, let it all go dark, and then put the light on whatever it is you're asking and say, hey, what is most valuable? Is it cupcakes? Is it video games? Is it my puppy dog? Is it God? Is it your culture? Is it your family? That's just a start, you figure it out. But adopt a culture, one pre-existing, or rise one up, or adapt a culture that keeps what is most valuable to you at the center of it. And then do the same with your language. Speak the language that you want to speak. I might have to expound on that in another video. But know that the goal is to change everyone's idea of what is valuable, important, worth fighting for, worth arguing for, worth dying for. Also, what is worth ignoring, what is worth giving up. Think of all of the culture that we've been losing while we're arguing over this war or this election or this disease or this catastrophe. While we had our heads turned right behind us, we lost so many great things from our youth and our heritage. Some of them we'll never be able to get back. Look around you, look inside you, quiet your mind, quiet your heart, and ask yourself what is most valuable, and learn it now before it's too late. And then be salty as you've ever been. Preserve that. Preserve that. Preserve it. Preserve that as the most valuable to you, and the language in which you speak of it. If you love this thing, then love it. And if you detest and abhor and have enmity with these things that are against that, then spit that fire from your belly too. Don't ever be silenced. Don't ever be filtered. Don't let them take your culture away from you. God bless. Stay strong.